Paul Feig is an actor and filmmaker. You might know him from movies like Bridesmaids or 2016's Ghostbusters. He's also the creator of Freaks and Geeks. He's always well dressed, as you can see on your screen, and he's gotten into the business of gin. There he is, and he joins us this morning. Mr. Feig, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, John. Thanks for having me, and good morning, everybody.
I do want to talk to you about the gin, but first, just give us a sense on what life has been like for you. You're a face that's familiar to a lot of people. We get a glimpse through Instagram, but what have the last few weeks been like?
Well, I've been quarantined like everybody else for coming up on 4 weeks now. I was shooting a TV pilot in North Carolina right before we decided I had to pull the plug, basically, and get back here to LA. So I've just been holed up here in the house. I have no complaints. I'm with my wife and our dog, Buster, and I've been doing every night. I've been doing this internet Instagram cocktail hour at 5 o'clock at LA time every night. We're there every day, 7 days a week. It's fun for me to just kind of try to keep people company, teach them a few cocktails, and also to raise money for different charities.
There you go. So Instagram's been a pretty busy place, but you're someone who's generally busy in the traditional media business itself, and you talked about having to make some shifts to production. What have been the biggest changes for Hollywood during this time of uncertainty?
Well, I mean, everything, my gosh, because everything that was in production had to go out of production. There's so many movies that are half shot. Our TV pilot, we only got to shoot 1 day on it and then had to pull the plug. Anything that was finished shooting is in post-production now, but even post-production, you're having to do remotely. The footage that we shot from our pilot, we cut together into a presentation for the network, but I had my editor working at his house on his editing machine, sending me cuts through the internet, and then the producer, showrunner who I'm working with on that show, sending her cuts, and we're just going back and forth with notes. So it's very odd. We're very used to being very hands-on and sitting there with the editors or just being on the set. So we've had to improvise, but look, our problems are pale in comparison to what so many people are going through. We're just trying to put out as much. We're trying to keep entertaining people even during a quarantine.
No doubt. And while you're dealing with all that as well, as we alluded to, building a business tied to gin. How'd you get into that business?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a gin fanatic. I love cocktails, but I especially love gin. I always have. I'm a big martini fan. And for a number of years, I just wanted to get into the gin business. I wanted to have my own brand. And finally found this company called Minhas, which is out of Calgary. And it's run by Manjeet and Ravinder Minhas, who built this from the ground up. And now it's I think it's the biggest brewer and distributor of beer in North America. And they also do spirits, but they wanted to get into a premium spirit. So they partnered with me on Ardingstall's Gin, which is mine. And we designed the bottle. I designed the recipe for it and everything. And it's really, I wanted to design a gin that I've always wanted. There's a lot of gins I love, but there's never been one that I kind of felt like was the perfect ones that I liked. So that's what we did with this, and it's been very exciting. We come out tomorrow all across Canada, except for British Columbia, but we're in all the LCBOs, and we're going to be in Saskatchewan and Alberta, and it can all be delivered to your house. So I'm excited to get it out there.
And it kind of gets into the question of how you market a brand at a time of uncertainty. You say gin, you talk about Canada. I think of, Ryan Reynolds as well has used some kind of interesting marketing when it comes to this business. Were you thinking a lot about that? Like how do we sell this product, market this product at a time when people aren't going out to the stores as much?
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult. The thing for me also is I do my cocktail time every day, like I said, at 5 o'clock, LA time. But I use that to raise money for charities. So I don't want to be kind of on there promoting my gin. We have it and we kind of show it. And yesterday I even kind of said that it's going to be out across Canada. But you really have to tread lightly because you don't want to be seeming to take advantage of anything during this time. And, I really want to get our gin out there, but at the same time, my first and foremost concern is for people's safety and health. But that's what I'm so happy that at least we're going to be out with the LCBO and all these other stores that can deliver. So, if people are looking for, if they have the extra money to get things like gin and that sort of thing, I'm just hoping, they'll lean into this and give it a try, and hopefully it'll help them get through quarantine a little bit easier. Who knows?
Yeah, I want to squeeze in a couple quick ones before we go, Paul. First of all, just on passion for business. You've told many times the story of your dad's store in Michigan growing up. Did you pick up some lessons there early on?
Yeah, my father was my hero. He had this Army surplus store. It was only one-off, but he built it into this giant business in the community that was very, very successful. And what I learned from him is it was just make your business feel like it's not taking advantage of people, really. I mean, my mother always wanted a Cadillac. I remember my father's like, you can't drive a Cadillac because then all my customers are going to think I'm overcharging them, which I'm not doing. I'm trying to keep these prices very, very realistic. And so there is something to just making sure that you never look like you're a business that is unattainable or taking advantage of people. And that always stuck with me.
All right, and in our last 30 seconds, you always dress for success. Everybody can see it on the screen, Paul. For anyone who hasn't put on a suit in more than a month, what would be your message for people who are working from home?
Here's my message. If you're doing Zoom calls and conference calls, just because it's over video does not mean you're not in a meeting. Would you show up to a meeting in sweatpants and a t-shirt? No. Get dressed up in business attire for your meetings. It just shows respect for your fellow employees, and it shows respect for the business you're in. I think everybody's gotten so casual with this that like everybody's showing up with their hair all over the place and unshaven and in their pajamas, and it's like, come on, you're still in a business. Present.
Paul, thanks very much. Great to get your insights. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John. I truly appreciate it. Have a good day, everybody, and hang tough.
Absolutely. That's Paul Feig, the actor and filmmaker, and now gin business owner.